Pillar 5. People. Having the right people in the right roles. An organisation's greatest asset is not its buildings, its policies, or its plans. It is its people. Mary inherited a school with a fractured staff team. Some teachers were passionate but burned out, others were competent but disengaged, and a few had slipped into cynicism, resistant to any change. Students felt the weight of these dynamics. Lessons were inconsistent, pastoral support patchy, and the culture uncertain. One particularly tough afternoon, Mary walked the corridors after a fight had broken out. Teachers were shouting, students were upset, and support staff looked helpless. Later that evening, she reflected. The issue wasn't just policies or priorities, it was people. She realised that unless the right people were in the right roles, no strategy, however carefully designed, would ever work. Her turning point came during a conversation with a veteran pastoral mentor, Sharon, who told her, "Policies set the stage, but people deliver the play. If the cast is misaligned, the story will never make sense." Mary resolved that her leadership would focus on nurturing, recruiting, and positioning people in ways that matched both their strengths and the needs of the school. This commitment became one of the most transformative pillars of her leadership journey. Why having the right people is important, and how it links to pastoral care. This is about ensuring that schools are staffed with individuals who are not only skilled, but deeply committed to the vision and values of the school. It is about alignment between passion and role, between expertise and responsibility, and between character and culture. Having the right people matters because pastoral care is not delivered by systems alone. Students thrive when they encounter adults who believe in them, who see beyond behaviour into potential, and who consistently model the values the school proclaims. If even a few staff members lack alignment, students pick up on the inconsistency, and trust erodes. This pillar links directly to pastoral care because relationships form the heart of transformation. Policies can define behaviour expectations, and priorities can set direction, but only people can create the daily experiences of safety, belonging, and encouragement that enable students to flourish. In alchemical terms, people are the elements, the substances that, when combined with vision and purpose, create transformation. Having the right people in the right places is like combining the exact metals and minerals needed for gold. Without it, the process collapses. Developing key practices. Mary's journey to embed this pillar involved deliberate steps. Role definition. She began by reviewing every role in the school, clarifying responsibilities, and asking, does this role directly serve our purpose of removing barriers to learning? Redundant or unclear tasks were reshaped to give clarity and direction. Values-based recruitment. Mary introduced interview questions designed to test alignment with school values. Candidates were asked how they would respond to pastoral scenarios, how they viewed inclusion, and what compassion meant in practice. Strategic deployment. Staff were positioned according to strengths. A science teacher, with a background in counselling, was given additional time to mentor students with anxiety. A support assistant with artistic talent was placed in charge of leading a creative therapy group. Professional development. Recognizing that even the right people need growth, Mary introduced workshops in trauma-informed practice, restorative conversations, and coaching techniques. Culture of collaboration. Staff were encouraged to work in multidisciplinary teams, teachers, mentors, and pastoral leads meeting weekly to discuss students' holistic needs. This broke down silos and built a shared sense of responsibility. One vivid example was the introduction of a student support hub, staffed by a counsellor, mentor, and attendance officer. Each had a clear role but worked as a unit, ensuring that no student slipped through the cracks. The people pillar thrived when Mary defined and modelled key values. Compassion. Every staff member was expected to see the child before the behaviour. This was reinforced through recognition systems that celebrated moments of kindness. Collaboration. Staff worked in teams rather than isolation. Weekly case discussions ensured collective wisdom shaped decisions. Resilience. Staff were encouraged to practice self-care and mutual support, understanding that pastoral work is demanding and emotionally heavy. Consistency. Adults modelled reliability. Students knew what to expect regardless of which staff member they turned to. These values weren't confined to posters. They were evident in corridor conversations, classroom management, and staff meetings. Translating into daily practice. Mary ensured that the focus on people was visible. Displays celebrated staff in action, showing photographs of staff leading activities, mentoring or supporting students. Policies explicitly linked pastoral roles to outcomes, ensuring clarity and accountability. Rituals such as weekly shout-outs in staff meetings highlighted where staff had gone above and beyond to support a child. Recognition systems encouraged staff to acknowledge each other's contributions, building morale and reinforcing positive behaviours. One programme, Compassion in Action Fridays, allowed staff and students to nominate someone who had shown extraordinary empathy during the week. This simple ritual created ripples of encouragement across the school. Sustaining and reflecting. Mary understood that the right people in the right roles today might not be the same tomorrow. Roles evolve, staff leave, and new challenges arise. To sustain the pillar, she embedded reflection into school life. Reviews ensured that staff were still well placed and fulfilled. Feedback loops gathered student and parent perspectives on which staff were making the biggest difference. Professional growth pathways allowed staff to stretch into new areas while remaining grounded in the school's vision. For example, when the mental health needs of students increased, Mary adapted roles to include a mental health lead and allocated protected time for staff to train in this area. The pillar of people evolved as the school community evolved. Before Mary's focus on people, the school was unstable. Staff turnover was high, morale was low, and students didn't know whom to trust. Inconsistency bred anxiety. Parents often complained that no one seemed to truly know their child. After embedding the people pillar, transformation was evident. Students could name at least 2 trusted adults in the school. Staff reported greater job satisfaction and lower stress because they were working in roles that matched their passions and strengths. Behaviour incidents declined as relationships deepened and students felt understood. Parents spoke of finally feeling that the school was a community that knew and cared for their children. The alchemy was clear. What was once lead, disengagement, burnout, inconsistency, was transmuted into gold, belonging, collaboration, and compassion. By investing in people, Mary had unlocked the most powerful ingredient in school improvement: human connection. This pillar reminds us that schools are human organisms. When the right individuals are placed in the right roles, transformation follows. Like an alchemist combining elements with care, Mary selected, nurtured, and aligned people so that their collective energy produced something extraordinary. A culture where every student felt seen, every staff member felt valued, and every parent felt reassured. In pastoral alchemy, people are not just resources, they are catalysts of transformation. With the right people in the right roles, isolation becomes belonging, fear becomes trust, and chaos becomes harmony.